My name is Cecilia Jimenez-Damary, and I am the United Nations Special Rapporteur on the Human Rights of Internally Displaced Persons. I would like to welcome you to this 35-part video series on the guiding principles on internal displacement, why and how they matter. The guiding principles on internal displacement remains a principal framework for the protection and response and solutions for internally displaced persons. And the aim of this video series is to introduce you to each of the principles of this important framework in between 3 to 5 minutes each. It will also be useful for you to have a copy of the guiding principles. And after each video, further reading and, of course, research are highly recommended. Substantively, in the discourse, in the videos, we have often referred to the significant work undertaken by one of my predecessors, Professor Walter Kellin, who led a legal team to draw up the annotated commentaries on the guiding principles, which you can also download from the internet. So what is the guiding principles on internal displacement? The guiding principles are the internationally recognized framework on IDPs, confirmed by the UN General Assembly on numerous occasions and recognized by various United Nations resolutions on the mandate of the Special Rapporteur. The guiding principles are authoritative, restating the rights of internally displaced persons as already enshrined in international human rights and humanitarian law. It is a result of a collaborative and expert process undertaken by the very first Special Representative of the Secretary General on Internal Displacement, Professor Francis Deng. Although the guiding principles on internal displacement as a whole is considered soft law and therefore not binding as a collective set of principles, the principles themselves are based on international human rights law and international humanitarian law that have over the years become binding on states either because they are jus cogens, such as the right not to be tortured or be subject to any form of slavery, or the respective ratification of international instruments in human rights. This would be covering civil and political rights, economic, social, and cultural rights, and as well the rights of specific groups such as women and children. And let us not forget the emerging and developing international customary law in both international human rights and international humanitarian law domains. The bindingness of the specific principles is most especially true for monist states where international law is recognized as part of the law of the national jurisdiction. It is likewise important to recognize the public international law developments which make the guiding principles as the basis for the further elaboration in the domestication of international law through legislation and policy, which is a priority of my mandate, as well as emerging jurisprudence in international and national courts. Obviously, there is more to the guiding principles on internal displacement. However, what is significant is that the guiding principles on internal displacement remain the go-to for practitioners and policymakers in the protection of IDPs. It's also the basis of IDP law and policy in many countries and the subject of much capacity building for government officials and non-governmental entities. And last but not the least, the guiding principles on internal displacement is the basis for advocacy for the rights and protection of IDPs worldwide. To start with, we will first know who are IDPs in the next video, and we will then proceed to introduce each of the 30 principles, plus short introductions on two frameworks. First, the framework on national responsibility in addressing internal displacement, and the second, the IASC, or Interagency Standing Committee framework on durable solutions for IDPs. I hope that you will enjoy and learn from these introductory videos and join me in our quest for the prevention of arbitrary displacement and the protection and solutions for the rights of internally displaced persons. I will see you soon then.